Greetings and welcome to my Friday ramblings. It's always interesting when I sit down to record these ramblings because I actually don't really set out to tell you anything in particular except tell you everything in general. This last week has been a bit of a challenging week for me in a couple of ways. One of my friends is not particularly well at the moment, and so I've been a little bit concerned and have been chatting with some relatives and some friends just to try to keep in contact and try to find out whether something is really seriously wrong or whether it's just an episode. And so at the moment, um, I'm hoping it's just an episode and that recovery will be quick, but it's just a little bit challenging. The second thing that happened this week was that I had a phone call from one of my classmates. At this particular stage, there are only there's a priest in Thailand who I haven't heard from in the almost 50 years since he was ordained, and I don't know whether he is still working. I presume he is. And there is one other priest who's working full-time in Melbourne. So there's of the people that have been around for a while, there's only the two of us who are still working. And so another rang on Tuesday to say that he'd retired on Sunday, but he's very smart about it. He's actually asked a bishop, one of his former colleagues from the diocese he comes from, whether he might come to his diocese and be a priest in residence in a parish that doesn't have a priest at the moment, so that he can make this transition into retirement without having a lot of pressure put on him, a lot of demands made by people who are still calling on him because he is now quite some distance away from them, but he still is able to just slowly move from being a full-time priest working in a parish to being a retired man. So he's doing that for 3 months, and I suddenly thought, that's not such a silly move. And so I'm starting to plan out in my own mind what might be some of the possibilities that might be available for me if I decided to do something like that. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday were normal days, and today is a first day for the children of their school holidays. And so today children are absent from our car park and from a school, but the staff are having a spirituality day. And so later this afternoon, I'll be going and celebrating Mass for the staff as an end of term activity. So I'm looking forward to that. The weekend is going to be a slow weekend, thank goodness. I've got a couple of things that I do need to do, a couple of people that I will be catching up with. But at the same time, that's not pressure time, but it's time when I can do a little bit of preparation, a little bit of planning for what we're doing in the future. I've just been listening to a podcast which was really quite terrific, and so I'm about to send a link to that to some of my team members on the parish pastoral team, and just to say, have a watch of this and just see what you think, because I think it gives us a couple of good ideas. Which reminds me that there are lots of good things available to people in podcasts and on YouTube, especially things like Divine Renovation and Church of the Nativity, both of whom have a great deal of material available. And there's also places from the Augustine Institute, Formed, Amazing Parish, people who are doing so much to help parishes move from being maintenance to mission, to be involved in proclaiming the gospel in the everyday. So that's basically what I try to do. I don't know whether I do it. I know that I've got a lot to learn, and even I would like to think that this old dog can learn some new tricks, because I think there's plenty that we can do that will make a difference. So that's my ramblings for this week. hopefully I will have a good weekend. Hopefully you'll have a good weekend. And if you have children who are beginning their school holidays, or if you have an opportunity to be with children as they recreate over these holidays, that you'll encourage them to be curious and keep looking for new ways of doing things. And I'd like to hope that you too might consider what it means to be a lifelong learner and continue to be challenged by what's happening around you. Have a great day. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week on my Friday Ramblings.